Summits can be really overwhelming. You're attending a lot of presentations, learning how to make new products, new marketing techniques, but how do you actually put all of this together to get more sales on Etsy? Sarah Wagner is a full-time Etsy seller in the top 1,800 Etsy shops worldwide, and she's made over $700,000 selling on Etsy. Sarah is offering access to Etsy strategy sessions just for you since you're attending the Go Digital on Etsy Summit. It includes hours of free group coaching, Q&As, strategy, and a whole lot more totally for free. Grab your access at sarahjwagner.com/Etsy Summit. You can manage all the moving parts of your digital product business in one place. Just use the Digital Product Business Planner spreadsheet. It includes 23 power-packed tabs to help you plan, track, and organize your business so you can focus on being successful. It's yours for free today at empoweredbusiness.co/Etsy Summit.
Hi, welcome to the Etsy Success Roadmap for opening up your store. My goal is to give you my proven system for opening up an Etsy store so that you have the potential to bring in an extra $1,000 a month in passive income. My name is Anna Beck. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids. They are awesome. We move a lot. My husband doesn't work for the U.S. military, but because of his job and his education, we just had an opportunity to live in lots of different places. And because of that, we love to travel. We love to go kind of all over the world. Like last year, we were in 10 different countries. And yeah, it's just something that we really love as a family. So to be able to sell on Etsy, I focus on print-on-demand products so that I don't have to have any inventory. I really, really love this model because it does allow me flexibility in my life, and it has given me kind of a sense of identity outside of motherhood that I really also value because, it gives me something to do and to look forward to. So I really love Etsy and print on demand for that. Another little fun fact that really surprises people is that I want to live to be over 100 years old. This is a decision that I made about a year ago. And since then, I have been making little adjustments in my life to help me live longer. So hopefully I can do this until I'm an old lady, like very, very old, past 100. So I first started selling online about 10 years ago. I started by finding products on Target and Walmart, and then I would sell them on Amazon and eBay. So you can see my 2 cute little kids here. This is where I had made a big haul at Sam's Club, and we had a lot of fun. But as you can imagine, it wasn't really sustainable having a bunch of product in my house with 3 little babies at the time. So in 2017, I found print on demand, and I was super, super excited because I couldn't believe that I could sell products that I didn't have to maintain inventory for. I didn't have to print anything. It was just like I could just design it, do it on my computer, and have my house free of products, which is so cool. So I started growing on Etsy and Amazon. So you can see here that I have 2 Etsy stores, and these are my stats from these stores. And so it's gone really well for me, and I've really loved the process. And now I teach others how to create passive income by selling print-on-demand products on Etsy. So if you are just starting out with your store, or you want to relaunch, kind of regroup because things haven't been working out, then this is a great lesson for you. We will talk about the steps of how to open your store the right way. So think about if you were to start a business, a brick and mortar business, you wouldn't just go to any building that you could find and give the money and say, okay, I want to pay for a lease. I don't know what I'm going to sell. I don't know what I'm going to do, but here, we'll just start. You would not do that. You would think of a business plan. You would think of what you're going to sell, who's going to buy it. And it's important that we do these exact same steps on our Etsy store. This is because we want to position ourselves in a way that people are going to find us and actually want our products. So the first thing to consider is whether you're going to have a general store or a niche store. A general store is when there is one product category or maybe 2 or 3 product categories that cover multiple niches. So let's take t-shirts, for example, and then you would have designs for teachers, for hunters, for nurses, different professions or hobbies. It can cover really anything. There are some pros to a general store. So first is that you can list across many, many niches. So you can have lots of different like little traffic sources, which is really nice if you don't know exactly where to start. And they can really add up over time to build you a really nice income as well. You can also have lots of ideas to draw from. So if something isn't working out, you can always switch to something else, and it can really help uh, like fill people who love creativity because they can do lots of different niches and designs for lots of different people. And you can also easily change and try out new things. So if something isn't working, you can just try a new niche and it's not a big deal. It doesn't look out of place for your store. Here is a general store example. You can see that this t-shirt store has stuff for the holidays, for teachers, for Black History. Don't do Disney stuff, even though it's in stores, your store will get banned, but they do have Disney stuff too. Okay, what is a niche store? A niche store has a specific target audience that you build your products around. For example, we have teachers. You can also have a design aesthetic that is a niche, so minimalist and boho. So you have a bunch of different products and it all has that same design aesthetic. People can be very passionate about specific designs. Then you can think about outdoors niche. So you'll have some sub niches there with like hunting, guns, um, fishing. People who tend to like the outdoors like those things, and you could cover all three of those niches or sub niches. So some pros of a niche store is that it's really easy to target your perfect buyer. Like if you think about a teacher, then they like bright colors. It's all about being in school, right? Very easy to target them. And when you have a store that's based off of a niche, people tend to be more loyal to you because your store is all about them. You're like cheerleading them on. It speaks all to them and they just really love that. So you can create a really nice little following that can bring you reoccurring sales over and over again. You can also have a higher conversion rate as well because you are speaking to a perfect buyer. They can also go into your store and find more things that speak to them and connect to them, and they just really fall in love with what you're doing because it's, again, all about them. And so you can have that higher conversion rate. Here is an example of a niche store that I think is super cute. It's in the mental health niche, and they have physical products and digital products. And it's all about like positive affirmations, well-being, mental health, and they also have a very cute design aesthetic going on too. So this store has done really well. I've also looked at their social media stuff and they have a nice following, and it's just really easy to communicate because it's always about the same things over and over again. So that's something I really love about a niche store. So you might be asking now, which one should I choose? And my recommendation is to choose either one. Both types of stores can do really well. I have had people who have started with a niche store and didn't do very well, switched to general, and they started to see those sales coming in, and vice versa. So a good starting place is just to consider what you know in your life. Is there a specific niche that you're super passionate about and that you really understand? So if you are a teacher, then you might want to target teachers because you really understand them inside and out. I have a friend who has an Etsy store that has done very well right from the beginning because it targets a specific religion that she's a part of. And there's a really big community in this particular group of people. And so because she is a part of this community, she can really speak to them, understand their needs, and deliver them exactly what they need. But if you are not a part of this community, you would not understand anything. It wouldn't even make sense. You wouldn't have any connection at all. So you can see how really understanding your niche is going to be very important. If you don't understand a niche or there's nothing that really excites you or sticks out to you, then I would suggest going the general store track because you can just test out different concepts and see what takes off, and you can keep adding more of those things that are really working well. So your strategy there would be to just start looking for those low competition, high search volume keywords. And then you will want to make products for those gaps in the market. And then whatever's working well, you just keep doing more of. A lot of people will start out by hearing about a product that's doing really well. Generally, I feel like it's on YouTube. Like all things come from YouTube. And they're like, okay, I want to do this print on demand thing because it's going to create passive income and I'm going to sell mugs or t-shirts. And that is great. You can definitely sell those products and start with them. but you want to discover what your perfect buyer wants first. So you might start with t-shirts, but if you don't know what people are looking for, what somebody wants, then you are not going to have a very successful launch of your store. You also might find that some of these products are actually oversaturated and would be really hard to sell, or that the product used to be really hot like 2 years ago, but now it's just really a dead product. So understanding who is buying the product and what product they're actually looking for is a very, very important part of you opening your store, because you will then optimize your store in a way that speaks to people who are actually buying products. You want to make sure that whatever you create moving forward from the very beginning meets exactly what somebody is expecting. For example, if you were to look for a children's toy for a birthday party, you might go to a toy store. Now, if you were to open up that door and all you saw were women's clothing, you probably close the door and turn around, because that did not meet your expectation. You were thinking, I'm going to a toy store, I'm going to find a bunch of toys so I can get this present taken care of. We need to be considerate in our stores the same way. Like, if somebody comes to our store, are they going to find exactly what they're looking for? And so that's why, again, we need to know who our perfect buyer is, and with the products we're using, what are they expecting, so that we can meet their needs. So how do you know who this perfect buyer is, this angel that's going to come to our store? You need to ask questions. So is it going to be male or female? If you're in the hunting space, it's most likely going to be male. Or you might be surprised and actually find that there's a huge niche for women in the outdoors who are looking for feminine type of hunting gear. And that could be awesome. That could be a great niche. Also think about age, because obviously different ages expect different things in their designs and coloring and messaging. Also, what are their preferred colors or niche goals? These are all clues that you want to gather, because you'll incorporate that into your store and into your keywords and into your products as well. You can also find a lot of these answers to these questions in groups where these types of people gather. So one of my favorite places is Facebook groups. And you can also see, like, what are they posting? What are they talking about? What kind of colors and designs are being marketed to these people already, so that you can implement them into your store as well. All right, now we want to choose our print on demand product, because again, we want to find out what people are looking for, and then you can come to the product part. So a lot of people will sell apparel. I love ornaments. Jewelry in the past has been really great for me, but it has gotten a lot harder. It's much more saturated. So you'd have to use that wisely. And then there's a lot of just really fun, smaller, niche type of products that you would have to just know your audience to see if they would like it. You could definitely test them out, but we have puzzles and blankets, sports balls, stuffed animals. All those can do really well if you just target the right person. After you have a product chosen, then you can make your first listing for your Etsy store. This is if you're launching your Etsy store. You have to create one listing to get that store fully open. You don't have to make this first listing perfect. A lot of people like really fret over it, but you don't have to, because we just want to get your store opened so that we can, fill everything out and then start adding products more consistently. So this first listing, you'll need to have a primary photo. You can get a photo from a print-on-demand company where you can make a quick mock-up with a design. You can also just take a picture of something in your house that you'd like to sell, like maybe take a picture of a picture frame or something like that. And then you can price it really high so nobody would buy it. It's not a big deal. And that helps you get through this listing a little faster. Next, you'll put in your title and the category of the product and the description. If you are listing a print-on-demand product, then you will need to add the production partner. This is something that Etsy requires for print-on-demand sellers. Some people will skip it, and I've never actually heard anybody being suspended for skipping this, but I would be so sad for you if you just skip this one little part and Etsy dinged you for it. Etsy really wants people to be transparent with their customers. And I think this is their way of doing that, is to let customers know, like, you're not doing the full process, you're doing X, Y, Z. So fill in this information. And then the next step will be your price and quantity. and any variations that you have. The last step will be to fill in your shipping profile. And a little tip if you're doing print on demand is to give yourself some leeway, because not always your print on demand provider is going to deliver when they even say they can. So if they say that usually things get out between 3 and 5 days, I'll usually put like 3 to 7 days. And if it gets closer to the holidays, I usually will move my time frame out to like 7 to 14 or 10 to 14, because it can get backlogged and then you can get in trouble real fast if you're trying to keep things really tight. Yeah, it happens every year, and it just makes things a lot less stressful if you can plan and expect that things kind of go wrong and have that extra buffer. Okay, great. When you have done this, this will be your last part. Your listing will be up. You can delete it later when you have some other listings, so you don't have to worry about that. But at least your store will be open and you can start filling out the other things that you need to make your store complete. So let's talk about now what to expect on Etsy as a new seller or somebody who's maybe just starting out. First, Etsy rewards effort. Anybody who's in their store, uploading listings, making tweaks on listings, communicating with buyers, communicating on reviews, anything like that, like it's essentially like you waving your hands at Etsy and saying like, hey, I'm a really good store owner, so please send traffic my way. And so they will do that. If you're in your store a lot, making an effort, they do send you more traffic. With print on demand and also digital products, you will win through failing. This is something that can be so frustrating and really hard to understand, because you pour your heart and soul into so many different listings, and most of them just go to the Etsy graveyard. And yeah, it can be really hard. But really, the most successful stores only have 5 to 20 designs that will sell regularly. And really, it's only a few products that usually are bringing in the bulk of their income. So don't be too frustrated if it takes you a couple months to get your first sale. It can take even longer than that. Keep listing, because think of it kind of as like a learning curve, those first 100 designs, because you've never done this before, and you might even be learning how to design as well. So remember that you will win through failing by keep trying and trying, because you're just looking for those top 5 to 10 products that bring in the sales and the revenue that you're looking for. Now, you might be overwhelmed by having to do 300 or even 1,000 or more listings, and that is overwhelming. So you might be tempted to just kind of push things out and do kind of the spaghetti at the wall method, but quality does matter. There are people who are creating these beautiful listings. If you can't compete next to them, if your listings aren't beautiful either, then you're not going to do very well. So you need to have a balance between quality and quantity. I recommend creating 2 to 5 quality designs per day, and really try to find the spot that works best for you. So if you are a stay-at-home mom, or you're working full-time or whatever, and you can only do 2 designs a day consistently and that are also quality, then I would do no more than that. Like, don't try and go crazy and push yourself unless you're getting close to a holiday. If you're getting close to a holiday, then I would go crazy. So, yeah. So find something that you can be consistent with that works for you. Test out new concepts too, like try out different designs and different mock-ups to see if something like on a person does better than a flat lay, just to find out what customers want and connect to. The next thing is you might get suspended on Etsy when you first open your store. For some reason, this is Etsy's weird initiation, and it is very, very common. This happened to me. It's happened who knows how many times. It's been going on for a few years now. So don't get overly frustrated by this. Just accept this as part of the process of opening your store. Usually it will get resolved within 2 weeks if you haven't broken any of the rules. You just need to be emailing Etsy every single day saying like, hey, I just opened up my store. I just put up a listing and my store has been shut down. Please reinstate my account. And you want to literally do this every single day, even if they send you an automated email saying like, hey, no, you won't get reinstated. No, you keep going, you keep emailing. And most people get their accounts back within 2, even sometimes as late as 4 weeks. So don't give up, and just know that it's a very normal part of opening up a store, unfortunately. All right, my last thing that you can expect on Etsy is having a holiday rush. And this is a very, very fun part of selling online. In order for you to get those holiday sales, you want to be listing your products 3 months in advance. This is really important because you want to be able to grow within the algorithm as more and more people start looking for holiday products. Yeah, if you can nail the holiday rush, then you can make money that essentially could make up for your like all your income for the entire year. It's a really fun time of year. This is something that sellers really look forward to because yeah, it's chaos and it's fast and it's yeah, you just never know what's going to happen. It's really fun. So be listing those products 3 months in advance. If you feel like you're late, still list things. You could even list things up to a month or 3 weeks to the holiday, and you can still catch some amazing sales. So really take advantage of that holiday rush and have a lot of fun when the holidays come around. All right, that is it for my lesson. So I want to share with you guys a freebie. This is a 17-page PDF that will go you through all the parts of your Etsy store that you need to optimize. So the things that we talked about before is kind of like, who is your perfect buyer? Who are you going to sell to? And then when you open up your store, that way you can optimize it for that perfect buyer. And this guide is made perfectly for you so that you can optimize each part of your store for your perfect buyer and bring in that traffic from Etsy. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much for joining me on this lesson.